Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Outcasted OC. I am Reese, of course, covering for you this week's episode of NXT, because why else would it be on your TV? This week was a really interesting week of NXT. I'm not going to lie. We've experienced a couple of weeks of a bit of an up and down. But this week, in my opinion, recovered it quite well. Seeing as though all the stuff that's been announced for the next couple of weeks and the matches that we got on the card. So before we get into it, I just do want to say, if you like the video, if you like my review of this episode, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But we opened this show with an NXT Heatwave recap, just to see what happened, like who won the title matches, what was going on that night. We saw Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams, recaps from that really good match. We saw the main event recapped with Wesley and Carmelo Hayes. That was really interesting. But let's just get straight into the show, because we open with easily the match of the night, in my opinion. Didn't go on for very long, considering it was a cage match, but it got everything in what it needed to. We now go to the Dyad versus the Creed brothers in a steel cage match. So we open with obviously the guys doing the entrances. They both make their entrances, except when the rest of the Schism jump the Creed brothers. They start beating down Brutus Creed. They lock Julius in the cage with Rick Fowler and Jagger Reed. It is a handicap match to start the show and to start the cage match. We got a bit of a shocker here, because I was like, I would kind of like to see just a one-on-one match between these two in the cage match. It would have been cool. But it ended up being quite interesting, because obviously you've got Julius in the ring trying to survive against the two Dyad members, which was really interesting to see, because he getting in some offense, like, you know, the suplexes that he's so good at. He's so strong, so fast, Julius. And then on the outside, you got Brutus Creed recovering. After the commercial break, we see him kind of doing like a Braun Strowman, like running around the ring train style, where he's running through all of the rest of the Schism, just clotheslining him, trying to get the key to get back in the ring. He can't find the key. So what does Brutus Creed do? He rips Kane style. He rips the door off, kind of like actually Kane and Martin Henry style, rips the door off of the cage and gets in the ring. And I don't think I've seen this before, or at least in a long, long time. Brutus starts using the cage door as a weapon, getting both of the Dyad members in the corner, starts running from corner to corner, hitting him with the door, starts slamming the door onto him, kind of spins it around. I thought for a moment he was going to do like a ladder spot, but with the door. But yeah, both teams start taking advantage of this door, like using it as a weapon. Just really, really good spots. But there's a spot close to the end where Julius hits a really beautiful power bomb. I think it's called the Brutus bomb off the with the Brutus bomb off of the top rope onto one of the Dyad members. Kick to the face, or clothesline to the face. Which one was it? Reese, which one was it? It was a clothesline to the face. Now that I am looking back in my memories. Yeah, clothesline to the face. 1, 2, 3. The Creed brothers are back on NXT, which for me is a strange move. I thought this would have been a good opportunity to set him up to the main roster, but hey ho, I don't really know what else the Creed brothers can do on NXT, but it is what it is. 1, 2, 3, Creed brothers get the win. And there was an interesting bit here at the end where Ava Rain, or Ava, actually just walks off in disappointment. The rest of the Schism are there, but she actually walks off, and Booker T actually brings it up on commentary, and Vic Joseph says she's probably just disappointed in the result, but maybe that's a little bit of tension forming in the Schism. Maybe there's a schism forming in the Schism. Yeah. Right, now we go on to the G1, or should I say the Heritage Cup tournament. This reminds me a bit of like a mini G1 tournament. So I'll explain the rules to you. It's going to be like I think it's like a 5 to 6 week tournament with 8 people in the tournament. You have 2 groups. You have Group A and Group B. I will tell you the groups right now. Group A is consisting of Axiom, Tyler Bate, Dempsey, and Butch from Friday Night SmackDown, aka Pete Dunne. Group B is consisting of Duke Hudson from Chase University, Joe Coffey from Gallus, Nathan Fraser, your former NXT Heritage Cup champion, and Akira Tozawa randomly, which I do want to point out was it was like a really strange moment here where the voiceover was describing the rules and the competitors for this tournament match, and he just completely doesn't mention Akira Tozawa. I thought it was really weird. It was on the picture when they showed the brackets and everything, but he wasn't acknowledged in the description of like what group he was in. I thought that was really, really strange. But anyway, as far as rules go, so basically you have to rack up as many points as possible in your group. Each person from the group has to face each other at least once. It is every single match is a 12-minute time limit. If it goes to a 12-minute time limit, it is a draw and both people get 1 point. However, if you win in those 12 minutes, the winner gets 2 points and the loser gets absolutely nada. So I'm excited for this. The winner of both groups go on to face each other on September, I believe they said 29th. I'm not too sure on the exact date, but yeah, they're going to face each other, and then whoever wins that goes on to challenge Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup Championship. I am really looking forward to this. If you want my opinion on who should win, that is a very early thing to say, but I would probably say Axiom. I don't want Nathan Fraser to win this, to be honest with you. I think he probably needs to move on to something else. Axiom or even Butch, maybe bring it back down to NXT to have a little bit of a run. That would be very cool. But that might change my mind, seeing as though we've been seeing already a couple of great matches in this tournament. We've had 2 matches tonight, and I'm going to be discussing both of them with you when they come up. We now go to a backstage segment where Tony D and Stacks are talking to Carmelo Hayes about Heatwave last week and what a great job he did defending the title. They are then interrupted by the Street Profits, which I thought was very interesting, because number one, why are they in NXT? Like the forming this whole Hurt Business thing, maybe the scouting, that's what I thought at the start. But then they turn around to Tony D and Stacks to say, like, we used to run this neighborhood. Now you guys are in charge. We've come down to see what the state of the neighborhood is, basically. It's going down, essentially. But maybe we are going to be seeing a Street Profits, Tony D and Stacks match for the tag team titles. I would not mind that in the slightest. That has got my full attention. The Tony D family versus the new Hurt Business Street Profits. Yes, please take my money. That could be happening possibly at No Mercy, which is a perfect time in my opinion, because that is a really nice pay-per-view to have that kind of a match on. It's a high-profile match, and it's just something to fill my palate with great matches. I'm just kind of rambling now, so I will move on to the next match. The point is, Street Profits versus the Tony D family would be great. Okay, right, now we move on to the first match in the Heritage Cup tournament. We have got Dempsey versus Butch. This match was just, for me, very, very cool. I love this style of match. Just the catch-can skill of both of these people, just hitting like just horrible looking submissions, just hitting each other very hard. That these two guys have a very, very similar style. In terms of they like going for the submissions, they like going for the joint manipulation. Both of them are quick on the feet, very, very cool. The joint manipulation from Butch in this match was very, very nice to see. It ends with Butch hitting the bitter end and hitting the 1-2-3 on Dempsey, which means that Butch goes to the top of Group A with 2 points for this victory. Dempsey still at 0 points, which is unfortunate, but I don't think he will stay at the bottom for very long. This for me really shows that you have got some great people in this tournament that can have great matches. Like there isn't just 2 or 3 people who you can eye who are going to win. No, but like all of these people have the potential to have great matches and even go on to win, to be honest with you. But yeah, what happens in this match is hopefully a sign to come of what we're going to be getting. We now go backstage to Dragon Lee, who is being interviewed, and basically he says that Lyra Valkyria was a great tag team partner last week when they went on to face the Judgment Day, and they actually ended up winning. He goes on to then say also that he's noticed what happens when Mami is taken out of the equation and Dominic Mysterio cannot defend the title by himself. He is then interrupted by Ali, who says, like, listen, we can both agree on that Dominic Mysterio, this outsider, does not deserve to hold the North American Championship. But with that being said, we can also agree on that you dropped the ball. You've had your opportunity against Dominic Mysterio. I've not had this opportunity yet. Basically, you know, you fumbled the bag, boy, get out the way, essentially. Obviously, Dragon Lee does not agree with this, so next week is announced later on in the night. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio send a video into NXT where basically Rhea Ripley is talking up Dominic, saying he will hold the title until he retires and nobody is worthy of facing him for the NXT North American Championship. She then whispers in his ear where Dominic Mysterio basically turns around and goes, that is a great idea. How about next week you guys face off and whoever wins faces me for the North American Championship at No Mercy, I believe it's probably going to be at. And I'm going to be the special guest referee. So obviously there's going to be some shenanigans in that match. Not being funny, it's probably not going to end up with one person winning. It's probably going to be like a double disqualification because Dominic's going to do something just to get involved in that match. I have a feeling that it's probably going to be another triple threat, which I suppose is okay. It keeps them all strong if it's like a multi-man match because, you know, there's a lot of chaos. But I would rather it just be a one-on-one match. Maybe even Ali versus Dom. I'm down to see that, to be honest with you. We now then go to an Ilya Dragunov segment where he is in the middle of the ring. He basically talks up Trick Williams saying, you proved to me last week that you are not a sidekick, that you are an incredible talent. But now, yeah, this is out of the way. I am ready to go for the NXT Championship. He's then interrupted by Noam Dar, the Heritage Cup champion, who says he calls him pathetic, begging for another championship match. He basically then says, you know, he's not worthy to have a championship match. He is not the champion that Noam Dar is. He's got first class tickets to California to No Mercy, baby, because he's waiting for someone to win that tournament only to get the right to lose to him for the Heritage Cup Championship. Ilya Dragunov basically then goes, what's stopping me from coming down onto that stage, like, to hang around with you guys, essentially threatening to batter them all. Aura Mensah gets in the ring just after Noam Dar is about to challenge, I'm assuming, Dragunov for a match next week. But Aura Mensah gets in the ring and says, let's make it official. You're not worthy to be in the ring with Noam Dar. That's why I've got his back, and that's why I'm challenging you officially to a match next week. These two start brawling. Dragunov goes for the Torpedo Moscow, and Aura Mensah gets out the ring. That should be an interesting match next week. Mayman Mensah versus Ilya Dragunov, the Mad Dragon. I am interested in seeing that, to be honest with you. Really, really cool. Like, because I love Aura Mensah, and obviously Dragunov is just absolutely fantastic. Oh my god, guys. Then we go backstage to a segment with Von Wagner, and he says it. He says, come Tuesday. Like, what everyone takes the mick out of him for. Yes. But basically he's saying the Bron Breakker shouldn't be called Badass Bron Breakker. It should be called Blindside Bron Breakker, because that's the second time he's had to blindside him to get the advantage. But he understands why he's mad. You know, he's annoyed because he put his ass through a table, baby. So next week, Von Wagner is going to destroy Bron Breakker once again. I am loving the sound of this. I really want Von Wagner to beat Bron Breakker. Like I say, don't think Bron Breakker has got much left to do in NXT, so he should be going up to the main roster anytime soon, in my opinion, once again. Von Wagner, I just love his promos. Like, there's just something about his voice. Like, it's like a weird combination of having no charisma, but like a whole different kind of charisma entirely. Just makes me love Von Wagner. Like, you know, whatever. We then go on to a tag team match, which doesn't really have anything about it. You've got Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice versus Kalani Jordan and Dana Brooke. The one thing that I will say about this tag team match is Lola Vice is very over with the crowd, but I also will say that I actually really like what she's doing in the ring. She's looks to be like a really, really special talent. And she was the most impressive part of this match. The end of this match comes where Dana Brooke kind of loses it and like goes after Lola Vice outside the ring, who Dana Brooke then gets put into the steel steps, which leaves Kalani James all by herself, open to a just a double team move. And Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez end up winning the match. Maybe this will cause more friction between Kalani Jordan and Dana Brooke in the future, which I'm assuming that is what it's going to be. We then go backstage to maybe a little bit of Trick Bello tension. Once again, we talked about it last week where Trick was looking at the title slightly, and maybe Mello was maybe blaming him for a bit of a reputation that has got going on at the moment, where he thinks that it was he thinks that it was Trick Williams' fault why this has been going on, because obviously Ilya Dragunov ran into the title a couple of weeks ago in the match with Mello, which caused him maybe to lose the match. So Mello is kind of angry that he has kind of an asterisk on his title reign at the moment, and he says to Trick, "Do you think I can beat Ilya Dragunov?" And he's a bit skeptical at the moment. He says yes, but Mello isn't really trusting of what he's saying. So basically Trick says, is my word not enough anymore? What's going on with this? You can't blame me for what's going on. It looks like Carmelo Hayes is having a bit of confidence issues, and when Mello walks off, Trick says, "I don't think you can win, I know you can win." Something that I don't know if Carmelo Hayes actually heard, but we know that Trick Williams is on Mello's side. But I think Mello is getting a little bit paranoid just with everyone at the moment. Next, guys, we go on to Eddie Thorpe versus Dijak. And I would be lying if I was disappointed with this match. There's been quite a lot of build-up over the past couple of weeks, which I've been looking forward to. These two big guys looking to go on up against each other. Sorry. And I just thought it was a little bit disappointing. I know for a fact these two can do a lot better. Both of these individually can do a lot better. But there is a really cool spot in this where Dijak kind of picks up Eddie Thorpe into the world's strongest slam kind of position, and spins around and throws him into the commentary area, which is really, really cool. There's a point in this match where Dijak gets how Vic Chelsea says a loaded fist, where he takes off his belt, and he kind of has wrapped knucks ready to go for a big blow to Eddie Thorpe. The referee sees that, threatens to disqualify him, and there is a belt then outside the ring just waiting to be used, guys, just waiting to be used. After the whole table spot where Dijak throws him into the commentary area, they go back into the ring while the referee is distracted getting a chair out of the ring. Dijak from the outside punches Eddie Thorpe in the face. It gets back in the ring, hits the Feast Your Eyes, the 1, 2, 3. Dijak wins this match. I don't think this feud is over, obviously. I think eventually Eddie Thorpe is probably going to get his win back. So hopefully that match will be, better. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of better, this might be the best segment I have ever seen on NXT ever. It was the weirdest segment I have ever seen. So we cut to Angel Garza's apartment. He looks troubled. He gets up and he washes his face and stuff like that. He looks troubled after a night's sleep. He gets a knock on the door, and Humberto Carrillo, his cousin, is at the door saying, "I just had a dream about Grandpa." Angel Garza says, "I also just had a dream about Grandpa." They both woke up with the same trinket. They had the same dream, and they both woke up with the same trinket. And they said, "Maybe it's Grandpa speaking to us. Obviously, he was a great luchador. I have his spirit, you have his heart, and together we can become something better." If this means that we're getting more Angel and Humberto, then I'm fine with this. But what the hell was this segment? If you don't watch any NXT this week, guys, go and watch this segment. Just go and watch this segment. It was absolutely amazing. It was just so NXT. It was just so dumb. I don't want. So let's just get this straight. They've been having troubles in the tag team division for a while. Both of them have a dream about the Grandpa. They wake up with the same kind of trinket, and they say, "Oh, now we need to work together." Oh, it's just so great. It's so great. Oh, it might be even better. It might be even better than the Tony D'Angelo segments, but that's that's by the by. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided what's better yet, to be honest with you. Oh, for God's sake. Now we go on to a match, guys, in the Group B for the NXT UK tournament. We have got Joe Coffey versus Nathan Frazier. Okay, surprisingly, Joe Coffey wins this match. Quite clean, to be honest with you, as well. But this was a cool combination of obviously Nathan Fraser's high flying ability and quickness versus Joe Coffey's just like hard hitting brawling style and just his power. Really cool here. The match ends where it goes to, I believe Nathan Fraser is coming off the ropes. He gets a little bit distracted. Phoenix Splash, he misses and then runs straight into Joe Coffey's finishing move, which is called the something bell or something like the last call bell. Like I don't know. I'm not sure what it's called. But anyway, Joe Coffey wins and he gets 2 points in Group B. So at the moment, the only two people who have got points in this tournament, guys, is Butch in Group A with 2 points after his victory over Dempsey and Joe Coffey now with 2 points after his victory over Nathan Fraser. Apparently, Akira Tozawa is going to be having a match on NXT Level Up against an opponent in this tournament. Don't know why it's happening on NXT Level Up. Just keep it on NXT TV. That's what I do, in my opinion. But hey ho. Before the main event, guys, we go to something very interesting, and that is a Chase U segment. And also another segment where this could be one of the could be one of the promos of the year, one of the segments of the year in NXT. So many great things. Chase U is in class, and Duke Hudson is there at the very front, obviously because he's the MVP and he is going to be in this tournament, which is what the class is about today, going over the rules. Duke Hudson is writing down the rules, he's studying, he's working very hard. Andre Chase turns to Duke and says, "Where's Thea Hale? Where's Thea? Is she not here? Like, she never misses a class. This is weird." Duke thinks the exact same thing. Like, she's got great attendance. Like, it's weird that she's not here. So the class ends and everyone walks out. And then Thea Hale walks in while Duke Hudson and Andre Chase are speaking about strategizing for the tournament. They say, you can't, like Duke Hudson says, I suppose it's only one class, Mr. Chase. She's usually got a great record while Andre's looking at him going, no. So Duke goes, I mean, but it is an important class there. It was for the tournament. So he's like sort of flip-flopping on both sides. Duke Hudson says, anyway, I'll see you in the hall to strategize again about the tournament. And Thea says, no, I ain't going to the hall. I've got plans. I'm going out. JC Jane in full on just like proper like dark clothing is like waiting to take her out, waiting to go out on a night on the town. Thea Hale is also wearing the dark clothes, just inspired by like JC Jane's bad influence. This is so good. Great, a good student turning bad because of like resentment to the teacher. I love this. I want to see what's going on in the future between all of these people. It's gonna be really interesting to see what's going to happen here. I love it. I absolutely love it. Andre Chase and like just Chase University always just absolutely kills it in these segments, and it always keeps me entertained. We get a backstage segment again, guys. Talking about Wesley is talking about what happened last week, what didn't go to plan. Carmelo, you didn't beat me, I beat myself. Eventually that title is going to end up on the Wes side. I'm just like, okay, Wes, cool, whatever. Like, I don't know, like, it wasn't the best promo from Wesley, to be honest with you. I'm interested to see where he's going to be going from this. Like, is it going to be a rematch against Carmelo? Because obviously you've got the Dragunov feud that's probably going to like pick up after his match with Aura Mensa next week. So I have a feeling that Dragunov is probably going to take that title maybe before Wesley even can get to it. So, it is what it is. Tyler Bate then is talking about his match up in the tournament and who's going to be facing in the tournament in his group. Obviously, he's talking about Butch, especially because they've got a history. But first, he's got to get his the beef with Dabba-Kato out of the way. I believe that is going on next week. So with that being said, guys, I don't really know what's going to happen with Dabba-Kato then. Like, I mean, I don't really want him to have a throwaway match with Tyler Bate because once again, that's just kind of using Dabba-Kato and then throwing him away again, which he doesn't really deserve, in my opinion. But it is what it is, I suppose. But I do love the fact that Tyler Bate acknowledged Pete Dunne / Butch, and that is going to be a formidable opponent. Hopefully, them two can finally settle the rivalry that they had, for a long time to see who is the better man. Obviously, these two guys faced off in the NXT original UK Championship tournament way back in, I believe, what was 2019. So that was a long time ago. But we now go to the main events, which is a fatal four-way for the #1 contendership for the NXT Women's Championship. A very, very hard-fought victory for Kiana James, guys. I was talking about this last week where I thought, you know, she didn't stand a chance in hell. I thought her and Gigi Dolan were just there to fill some spots, but no. All of them got in some great offense here. There was a lot of like double pins, double submissions, you know, people throwing each other out the ring so they can get the advantage, which is eventually what actually happens. So basically at the end of this match, Roxanne Perez goes for pop rocks on Blair Davenport. She actually hits the maneuver, but then Blair, the momentum, takes it out of the ring. Roxy is very distracted and very annoyed by this. She then goes after Gigi Dolan. However, Kiana James jumps back in the ring, takes out Roxy, hits the DDT on Gigi Dolan for the 1-2-3. And Kiana James is getting an NXT Championship match next week against Tiffany Stratton, which is going to be interesting, guys. Like I say, this was a very good match. Go check it out. There was a lot of stuff that happened. There was a commercial break in between like this match, which was quite annoying. I don't like it when they go split screen. It winds me up a little bit. I think maybe they should... I don't know how you work around that. I suppose there isn't really a way of working around it, but I think it really takes me out of the match. But it is what it is, I suppose. It's kind of like when they do a commercial break in the middle of a Heritage Cup match, like, and then you miss like a whole round. Oh, you don't miss it, but it's like a small screen, like on one side of the screen. It's just weird. I don't like it. Blair Davenport, I was very surprised that she did not win this match, to be honest with you. I don't know where Blair goes from here. Maybe there's another match between her and Roxanne Perez set for No Mercy, where Blair gets her win back, possibly. I don't really know where Gigi Dolan goes from this match. She's kind of directionless at the moment, but I'd never thought she was going to win the match anyway. That's why it was a big surprise to me that Kiana James won this match. Not only is she a heel going against a heel, which is a bit strange, but she was just kind of an out of nowhere pick for me. But I'm fine with it. Kiana James versus Tiffany Stratton, interesting match, interesting. To which, like, we haven't seen that before, that kind of dynamic. So I'm down for it. Let's go. What else did I want to say about this match, guys? It's more about what I think is going to happen next week. I don't think it's going to have a clean finish next week in this match. I think maybe we're going to get a bit of interference from somebody, possibly a Becky Lynch. But we all saw that Tiffany Stratton was watching a bunch of the women's matches this week on Raw. So anybody could really come and challenge her for the NXT Women's Championship and cost Kiana James. We then go, guys, to Carmelo Hayes walking backstage, and he's standing outside of Shawn Michaels' office, and he looks very distraught. He looks very annoyed, and he goes to walk into the office and says, you know, we need to talk. But that is it for your NXT review, guys. But I do just want to mention about Carmelo Hayes. I don't know if this is a possible heel turn for him. I don't know if this is him just like doubting himself before he loses the NXT Championship and then moves up to the main roster. But if I'm being honest with you, I would quite like to see him lose the NXT Championship to Trick Williams. I know that might be a little bit controversial. I don't know if it would happen at No Mercy. I think that's a little bit like early, but maybe Survivor Series weekend, maybe even Stand and Deliver next year if they want to carry it on that long. I think that would be very, very cool. Eventually Trick Williams taking the title off him. You know, that's always an option. I've always been the one to say that I think if Carmelo Hayes ever went up to the main roster, Trick Williams should go with him and vice versa. But, you know, I'm coming up with different options maybe and different storylines, which would be cool to see. So, yeah, Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship. A friendship divided, a friendship broken down just because of the paranoia of Carmelo Hayes. That would be really cool to see. Anyway, guys, like I say, that is the end of this week's NXT. A better show, in my opinion, than we've seen for the past couple of weeks. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. What was your favorite match? Do you think anything else should have gone down? Do you think there should have been a different winner in the NXT Women's Championship #1 Contenders Fatal 4-Way? That is a mouthful. And are you excited for the G1 style kind of tournament for the NXT Heritage Cup? Also, let me know who you think is going to win down in the comments below. Guys, like I say, if you like this video at the start of the video, make sure you subscribe and to hit that bell notification. We have got an amazing podcast coming on tomorrow with the one and only Santi. We are going to be doing payback predictions, so that is going to be an absolutely amazing show. I just can't wait for that conversation. It's going to be great between all of the Outcasted guys and Santi, the special guest. It's going to be an absolute pleasure hosting him tomorrow. Guys, you can find us all, including Santi's new channel, on TikTok. Go and follow him, because obviously with the whole thing that's going on with his old channel, it's a bit of an annoyance, and it's really, I think it's really brought the whole TikTok community together in a lot of ways, because his channel has like grown quite like large just in a short amount of time, and we want to keep that momentum going. But speaking of TikTok channels, you can follow Outcasted OC also on TikTok. We are also on X, aka Twitter, so go follow us on there, and you can also follow us on Instagram. If you want to follow me, Lauren, Courtney, Ross, and G anywhere in the description, you will see our handles down below. But for now, guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.